Hello everyone, CPAT here bringing you another Exceed commentary of Jungy's Shapes Returns. We are in week 4 of the pools. Today we have a very special match between migohunter, also known as F-Stake on Steam, so they're going to be on red, versus Teketria. So for those of you that don't know, migohunter was basically one of the two players who taught me Exceed, and we played together for a couple months before I grew out of my Exceed playing phase. Teketria apparently is an old face. I am not familiar with them at all. So this should be an interesting one. We have migohunter on the Noelle, little tiny baby girl, versus Teketria on big bad Carl. So this should be an interesting one. Uh, I'm not too familiar. I'm pretty familiar with Carl. Carl's probably one of my more played characters. I really enjoyed him. He just kind of throws numbers at you and sees if you can handle them. And on Exceed side, he throws bigger numbers at you. Likes throwing EX normals with the overload. Noelle, not a character I am super familiar with. She's kind of lowish damage, but she does have some tricks, right? Like she's a fast character, and can spend gauge to make herself faster. And she's also got a couple cards that can take advantage of take advantage of that, such as like Type One and Muzzle Flitter. You know, cards that allow her to not be forced to trade. Anyways, looks like the game has already started. As I drop my phone on the ground, let me pick that up. Migo opting for the turn one prepare on Noelle. Carl, in typical Carl fashion, runs up to Noelle. Carl likes getting in close, right? If we look at the cards here, 1 to 3, 1 to 2. This one's a range 3. But look at this. Look at this powerhouse of a card here. A 1/4/4/4 with ignore armor, ignore guard. But one of my favorite cards in the game. And then of course the coffee, which is his only like super ranged attack, but only does 1 damage. I like using just to like build the gauge. Looks like a parry was called. Parry misses, however. Look at his hand full of normals. We're surely about to see a parry focus in return. We have a hand of 1, 2, 5, 7, and Swangy elbow. I don't know if it's Swangy or Swangy. Let me know in the comments below what this how to pronounce this guy's last name, because I actually don't know. I'm unfamiliar with this guy. Apparently he's like a promo character. Parry focus seems to work out for Swangy in return. So Swangy's hand is 0, or excuse me, 1, 2, 5, 7 elbow, and a random card. Yep, migohunter just writing it down in the chat. Pretty standard stuff so far. I wonder what was parried. If it wasn't Swangy elbow, then it's probably like a power short. This card does just look at his powerhouse of a card here. It does backfire against a card like Muzzle Flitter or against a card like Type 1. But this card is just so scary. Carl is just a super scary character that just throws like I said before, he just throws numbers at you and sees if you can handle them. You can pump those EXs as well with the overload. Okay, Noelle initiating strike at range 1. Reminder that Noelle does know Carl's hand, but Carl does not know Noelle's hand. So there's a little bit of an interesting dynamic there, amigo, choosing to strike into a hand that is mostly known. Yep, just block and focus in that discard. But yeah, Noelle does have a lot of cute tricks to avoid damage. Instead, just opts for the range 1 assault. So this will trade somewhat unfavorably for Migo, but he will get advantage at least. Both characters build up a gauge. Carl gets a card. Yeah, Migo's advantage. Opts to prepare. Interesting. Yep, 2, 5, 7 elbow in Carl's hand are known. And I hope he shuffles his hand. I hate stressing this over and over again, but not enough tournament players shuffle their hand. Don't know what's going on there. I mean, in casuals, I shuffle my hand after every turn. Okay. Carl will be seeing light. I'm assuming this was a shuffled hand because the light came from here. Unless he drew a second one. Nope. Light at range 1 kind of of course, people say it doesn't matter nearly as much at range 1, but look at this bad boy right here. This bad boy is a 1-4-6-4. That's pretty scary. Ignore armor, ignore guard. That's pretty scary. Yep, and Migo, we saw the Jungy elbow in hand. Migo texts it. Okay, and this is going to be an investigate. So the opponent discards a card at random, and if it's a special one, they discard an additional card of their choice. And Carl does hit the special, so Migo's going to have to discard 2 cards here. Although he does get to choose the second one. And Optic Barrel, I don't think Optic Barrel is going to do a whole lot in this matchup anyway. The boost is okay, allows the +1 power now strike. Just overpower boosts allow you to break certain breakpoints. Important for certain cards. I don't think he'll miss this too much. Yeah, actually discards the second Optic Barrel here. Carl has a lot of Carl has a lot of incentive to be up close, and even has an additional boost that allows him to close up to 6. So I didn't really foresee Optic Barrel doing very much anyway. Okay, Migo preparing again. This is like his 4th or 5th prepare. It tells you, I mean, either Migo's unhappy with his cards in hand, or he thinks that his Noel needs a lot of cards in hand, which I actually don't know. Like I said, I think I've only fought Migo's Noel once, and it's when he was learning the character as well. And it was just in casuals, obviously, so I don't know a ton about Noel, other than she's fast, she runs around you. Interestingly, Carl boosting the second light, Migo responding with defend. Notably, remember, it's not an adequate response to Jungy elbow. Carl boosting fierce in response. This is now very scary. It's got the way of the warrior / true master in play, and I hate to stress it, but look at this bad boy of a card here. It's probably one of my favorite cards. So I'm gonna keep stressing this. Like this is a powerhouse of a card right now with the boost in play, especially. It's a scary card without the boost even. Migo does have a gauge, so he can spend it for +1 speed on a strike if he feels like he needs to do that. Notably, if he doesn't, a lot of his options will lose to Jungy. Spring Raid will work, as will Grasp, but not much else works against Jungy here. Jungy elbow here, if we look at, or not much else. Yeah, not much else deals with it. Actually, nothing else deals with it besides Grasp and Spring Raid. Unless he, of course, chooses to spend. If he spends bar, then something like a cross will work as well. Actually, oh no, cross will work without that. Because cross is speed 6, so we'll win the speed tie. It'll end up here. It'll be fine. So yeah, let's see if Carl responds with an EX. Oh no, EX Jungy. That's a speed 7 EX Jungy. I mean, the only reason you'd EX that is if you want to beat Cross, so maybe that's what Teketria was expecting, I'm assuming. That'll be 7 damage. It'll pop the armor on the defend as well. Pretty expensive though, pretty expensive combat. Migo does have resource advantage. It was a Migo strike, so Carl did have the time to prepare, back up to 5 cards, 2 gauge. I don't know if Teketria is the kind of Carl to prefer exceeding over the ultras. I think Carl's ultras are a little bit of a trick shot. I like autonomic response sometimes, but the exceed where he just gets +2 power on his normals just makes him so good, man. It's so scary, and especially if you can get it early to where it actually matters for the late game. Like it's insane. I think it's very good. Okay, Migo's striking. Probably like a muzzle loader or something, if I had to guess. Oh no, just the grasp. Against the cease and desist. Okay, so this will eat up all so the armor on this will eat up all of Grasp's damage, and we'll hit back for Migo will get hit for 3 in return. And additionally, Carl will draw a card off that as well. So at least Migo gets gauge. If we look at the ultras, well, yeah, she takes 4 to flip, so she's so far away from that. We'll look at the ultras. Zero Gun Fender is pretty good, just a 157 with a push effect, which is good, keep Carl away, and a big draw. That's actually a pretty good ultra. Instead, we see Carl boosting Disarming Maneuver. Advance 2, if you switch sides, they discard a card at random, pulls that Zero Gun Fenrir out. We were just looking at that card, and it's well, at least one copy's down. Yeah, this card looks pretty good. Notably, like, pops the guard on Swingy, although it doesn't really matter anymore. Loses to Power Short though, which we have not seen yet from the Carl side. But look at this massive life lead here. Migo's gonna have to win several. He's gonna have to string several combats in a row to make a comeback here. Okay, opting to prepare. This is like the 5th time Migo's prepared. Carl, in response, prepares himself. Although I guess he's prepared a similar amount of times as well. Yeah, unfortunately, Noelle has to do. She has to win the mix-ups pretty reliably against a character like Carl. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to do that just yet. Reading. I mean, this is the kind of play you need to get back into the game. Does it hit? Looks. Oh no, it doesn't hit. That's no good. Got a hand of 4, 5, 7 EX Power Short authorized. That's a scary hand. Well, Carl's a scary character, but that EX Power Short, depending on what was called. Oh, it looks like EX Grasp in response. Okay, we'll beat the assault through. 4 damage, not the most damaging, but I mean, Carl has such a huge life lead here, has gauge advantage too. Especially with that hand that we saw, maybe with 2 focuses down, range 3, maybe we see like an exceed coming through here from Carl maybe. Although he could just opt to strike with the assault and get to range 1 and then do it. No, he opts to exceed right away. So if we look at Carl's exceed, he goes from blue to red, so you know that he's powering up. And look at this, 2 power on all the normal attacks. So that assault in his hand will do 6, which is just crazy. Yeah, Migo definitely in a big predicament here. Decides he needs more cards in hand, and this feels like EX Assault, surely. Looks like Teketria drew a second Ultra off that. How does Migo deal with EX Assault? This will do 7 damage. Opts to block it, and yet there's the EX Assault. So yeah, at least has the blocks, so doesn't lose this combat too hard, and has a ton of cards in hand, so surely should be able to. Interestingly, spends the gauge. Okay, really valuing the cards in his hand. Maybe he decided that the ultras aren't worth going for, nor is I don't think the exceed was. But to be fair, if he's gonna mount a comeback, he's gonna build gauge in response, but decides that he doesn't want to threaten the Zero Gun Fenrir now, which I think makes sense, depending on the contents of his hand. I believe he still has a bunch of the options that ignore the slow things. Okay, interesting. Boost Chain Revolver, drawing 3 and striking. So uses one of the muzzle flitters for that. Hopefully Migo has drawn something good, because unfortunately, he is in a lot of trouble right now. Carl just kind of doing Carl things right now. Just sticking like glue to his opponent and doing a bunch of damage, but Migo has lost a couple key mix-ups here. So let's see if he's able to turn it around right now. Yep, Migo just noting the hand. 3 cards are known: the Dive and EX Power Short. So you are cornered against Carl with EX Power Short in hand. That's gotta be a scary thing. That's gonna be a scary thing, for sure. And of course, this will allow Power Short to not hit back, and it will do 6 because Power Short will miss. This, however, does not work against EX Power Short because EX Power Short will have 3 armor. Let's see if Teketria is actually willing to play into the Power Short here. I mean, it's always a little bit weird when your opponent knows you have one of the options. And it can be difficult, especially against someone you've never played before, to actually like have the read. I think the especially I'm gonna compare this to Yomi again, especially to Yomi, where you have so many more combats and so many more opportunities to get a read on a certain player. Exceed doesn't really have that, right? There's only been what, like 5 or 6 combats this game. There's like this is just it's just a guess, man. It's just a guess, and the RPS is skewed because obviously different cards have different payouts. But at the end of the day, you can't really be 100% sure, so this is super scary for Migo here. Striking with only 1 card as well. No ability to boost the speed. Although I don't think that's going to matter too much. Looking at what we have here, like Assault Through doesn't work against Power Short either, because Power Short cannot be moved. Okay, Teketria responding with 1 card. This is a sweep, and the cross will beat out the sweep. Wow, Teketria gets another guess right. That's going to be 5 damage. Yep, Migo getting that right away. Yep, 5 damage cross. Just, Carl, man, that's Carl, right? At least at range 4, right? We know that Carl does have dive in hand. I don't know if he chooses not to strike with the dive. I don't know. Let me just check the kit real quick. Okay, so this does beat dive. It hits at range 4 and beats dive. Okay, Migo opting for dash cancel, moving closer to Carl, and with the hit effect of gaining advantage, and the gauge as well. But yeah, really needs to start stringing combats together to make a comeback here. Literally 1 normal from Carl is gonna seal the deal here. Like known dive and known EX Power Short as well. Like this makes complete sense to me, because if Carl draws an Ultra here and Noelle sitting at range 4, you know that EX Dive is coming out right away, and that EX Dive is doing ability damage. Like you can't even focus through it. You can't focus through EX Dive as Noelle. You have to block it. So just really unfortunate game for Noelle so far. Okay, discarding a dive, probably for a boost. Okay, yep, boosting Disarming Strike again, pulling another. So this is actually interesting. I don't boost these too often, but I like this a lot. Just really limiting the options that Noelle has, just kind of furthering that stranglehold of such a huge life lead, and getting resources out as well. This card isn't really going to matter too much in combat anyway, so why not use it for the boost? I really like this. I really like the boost usage, Carl's boost usage this game as well. I mean, it's hard to not like everything Carl's doing when he's won every mix-up though, right? Migo looking to strike 1 card. Carl looking at Wild Swinging here. Okay, cross against the Authorized Force. That's not... We gotta find a new one there. Against Spike. Okay, Noelle wins a mix-up. Finally, something goes Noelle's way. This will do 3 damage to Carl. Noelle will get 2 gauge and advantage. At range 4, however, so that EX Dive is kind of spooky. Also, if EX Dive... Well, actually, no. What I was going to say is that EX Dive would actually trade against this, but no, EX Dive would move 1 spot too far. Because, notably, whenever Carl is up against a special attack, he gets +1 armor as well. Just another little bonus there. I'm just making sure that they're playing, like... I'm assuming that Migo knows that it's his turn. Like, that's why he played the boost there. I'm assuming that Migo's just thinking about what to do. Although it really looks like, by the mouse movement, I don't know why, it just looks like Teketria is thinking about what to do. But maybe Migo does... Oh, Teketria is like... Oh, okay, no, Migo's got it. Yeah, so Migo opts to prepare again. Range 4, that EX dive looks kind of sketch, though, huh? Interesting. Discards the focus, which I thought would be like a win con for him. Or not a win con, but like one way to win the game. At least the Investigate does not get a special attack this time around, so Migo does not have to discard 2 cards. That's an interesting one to me. I did not expect... Right, because look at... This is such a big hand. Low deck size. Surely... I guess there were just not 2 copies of one particular normal, but, you know, you could just, like, normal and... Or read something and throw out a dive and just win the game off that, but... Okay. Migo opting for the reshuffle, putting Valkyrie Veil into his hand. Valkyrie Veil 1/2, 3/2 with a bunch of armor. Stun immunity as well. Before, if you were hit, +4 power and you could draw a bunch. Probably just looking to burst that, though. Immediately gets parried, though, so no burst. No burst there. Noel's going to have to find something else. Yep, Noel prepares again. Just kind of a sad burst. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised by that focus drop. Maybe we just haven't been paying close enough attention, and a lot of normals were going. Boost power short. Interestingly, so we'll return a normal from. We'll basically just replace a normal in his gauge, the normal being cross, into his hand. Teketria is showing his hand. Nice guy. We've got 3, 6, power short, cease and desist, autonomic response. Okay, this is a hand. Do we? Oh no, he discarded that dive. Did he discard that dive a long time ago? I feel like he was having it dive in his hand. He discarded. Oh yeah, he discarded it to boost something. That was an interesting one to me. That's an interesting one to me. Wonder why he didn't discard, like... I don't know why he didn't discard, like, a power short or something. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, look at this positioning. EX dive is so good, but maybe I just didn't really pay close enough attention to when he discarded that dive, when he dumped the dive. Noel boosting power. Okay, this is a good start. Does not have enough gauge to threaten Bulletstorm yet, unfortunately. Carl with his billion move options here. Well, not a billion. He has crosses and he has cease and desist. So plays cease and desist, runs up to range 1. This makes sense to me. Yep, Migo just noting the hand. The hand is 3, 6 short, power short, and autonomic. Response. So those. So what? So I guess the question is, what is Migo's response? I wonder why Carl didn't. So Carl took the cross back. Didn't boost with the. Oh, okay. His plan is to hit with EX cross next turn. So Migo's back. Migo's got to have something. Probably opting to strike this turn. Yeah, strikes this turn. Will Carl actually play EX cross in response? Doesn't look like it. Zero gun Fenrir. Power short cannot be pushed. Oh no. Well, at least Migo will do 3 damage with 5 damage after armor. Which will not stun Carl. Actually, no, it will stun Carl. Oh, yeah, this is only 2 and 3. Okay, and then Carl will actually lose 3 HP more from not hitting. Wow. Huh. I was in my head that EX power short was still a thing. Oh yeah, Carl. So notably the 3 damage is on an after ability, so Carl's stun doesn't lose the extra 3. Now this is going to be EX cross from Carl. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like the end game from Teketria here. I don't want to say it's like fumbled or anything, because I mean he's still got a huge life lead. It's still very likely to win, and it's possibly just making like fine plays. This is EX cross 100%, but I don't know. I just felt like there were different lines to win that I saw that he chose not to go for one reason or another. I guess the focus line is admittedly a little sketchy, because you could that's like one way to throw away the game. But yeah, I mean, Teketria looking for different lines than I did. He really preferred like the force the boost that costs one. But I just feel like he threw away win cons both times he boosted those. Like he threw away the dive and he threw away the focus. Okay, focus so to not die to EX cross. This makes sense to me. Migo will take 4 damage, but will live. And also Carl back to range 4. So like a little bit sketchy positioning here, to be fair, but only 2 HP left. Yeah, Migo also gets a card off that. Migo has a ton of cards in hand. Like this game's not over. The hand I believe is Spike and no, okay, Spike and an unknown card, which is a little scary. But the Spike's not doing anything, right? Migo would have really liked to read, obviously, the Spike in hand, but didn't have any armored options. Noel is super short on armored options, doesn't have any of them outside of the Valkyrie Veil. So yeah, unfortunately, I had to use the focus to live. Okay, Migo striking here. This could be like an optic barrel or what have you. It is the optic barrel, beats out the Spike. I wonder if he'll choose to advance. This will do 5 damage, or 4 after armor. Yeah, but Migo will need to spend 1 force to actually hit, because he's hitting these spots right now, and he needs to hit these spots here for the 1 force. Yeah, he's just deciding what to do. The question is whether Noel wants to advance into Carl. A little bit sketchy, but we don't know the hand contents. Chooses not to advance. Okay, prefers that range 4. Doesn't have the ultra yet, but Noel does have options at range 4. This and this. So yeah, Carl letting Noel back into the game here a little bit, I think. But like I said, we don't know the full game state, so we don't know. Okay, Carl opting for big change cards here. This makes sense to me. I don't think an Ultra is the appropriate win con against Noel. Especially the 4-cost Ultra is too slow against a character like Noel, and the other Ultra is like too big a risk. That's kind of a, I like that Ultra kind of like in a comeback sense, or if I'm trying to style on my opponent. And I don't think Teketria wants to style. I think he just wants to close out this game, because this game looked closed out like 15 minutes ago, but migohunter is slowly bringing it back. Now, huge change cards though means like random things like coffee mug is back. Although like coffee mug speed 6 would just bop you real quick. Okay, migohunter opting to step in. Maybe think about spending a gauge here for +1 speed. Range 3. Coffee mug is still a thing, so yeah, spends the +1 speed. Mix up time, right? Could be like range 3 obviously has the classic assault dive spike mix up. Hopefully Carl doesn't have EX coffee mug, because that would be extremely rude to draw right now. I wonder if he's willing to go for regular coffee mug now that Noel has spent the +1 speed though, because if it's an assault, he gets super punished. Well, not super punished. At least Noel will be at range 1, which is probably like fine for Carl, because he can represent threats like EX Grasp, which is super easy to represent when you're Carl. Yeah, really good heads up play to add the +1 speed. Really, I mean, seems like a simple thing to do, but you know, he did it. Just really adds a lot of depth to the mix-up, in my opinion. Okay, Teketria checking the discards. This is the first time he's actually had to think this game, it looks like, or like not think, but had to spend some time to think. Okay, Carl opting for the wild swing. Spicy. It's the spike, and it beats the sweep. Migo swung for the fences and hit a home run. Beautiful, beautiful. Whenever you play Spike face down and your opponent wild swings, my heart just sinks. But he did it. He beat the sweep outright. Migo. I mean, this is I think it's the first commentary I haven't said it, but when you're down this much life, you have to take risks, right? And Migo took a risk and it panned out. So good on him. Carl down to 11 HP. I believe he boosted cease and desist yet to run to range 1. Makes sense to me. Wow, well done. Well done. Carl down to 11 HP. Like, Carl had like a 20 HP lead or something at this. I think his biggest lead was 6 to 28, so 22 HP lead. Noel just bringing it back. Yeah, and I just want to point out again, I just felt like to me it felt like there were win cons missed, right? The first one was the focus, the second one was the dive, and the third one was I thought he kept EX power short in hand, but didn't. EX power short in hand such an amazing defensive option. Okay, Noel spending 2 force from Gauge to move back 2, preferring that range 3. Like I said, hopefully he doesn't get hit by a random EX coffee mug. That would be sad. Or like disarming strike now. It hits, which is just a little... Okay, boosts the coffee. Yeah, these investigates, man, they just feel like they're not... This investigate is the most questionable one to me, I will say. This feels like it's not winning games, you know? Because this could have been like coffee... This could have been like coffee mug into anything, really. Just to finish the game off. But, I don't know, it just feels like really slow tempo. Just allowing Migo to get back into the game with these special boosts. You know? Maybe Teketria has a plan here. I can't really see it. Yeah, I mean, you're just allowing Migo to, like... Now he's boosting light, so now he's, like, way more likely to win this next combat. Right? Just really... And this just feels too slow. Like, Carl's a big powerhouse character. It feels too slow for me. But maybe there's a reason for that. Like, maybe the hand's garbage, or you know... I'm not a big fan, though. I'm not a big fan. Yeah, and Noel says, hey, I got +2 speed on the board. I'm gonna get more options in hand. This makes perfect sense to me. I just feel like the first half of the game... Okay, this is boost light in response. That's the second one. One dive down for Amigo. I don't believe we've seen the second one yet. This is better. I don't know. I just feel like, you know, like EX coffee mug was another win con. Like, obviously we don't know if he has a second coffee mug in hand or not, but just using this as a boost just feels so wrong to me, you know? Especially against a character like Noel who doesn't have any armored options, really. Like, coffee mug is so good. For a character against someone who's at 2... I mean, coffee mug isn't normally super good, but like against a character like with 2 HP, like, you get advantage on top of that as well. So even if you don't have EX, you can like do something, or if you have EX and they block it, like you're still fine. Like, it's still your advantage, and you can do things like disarming strike, which is a 1/2/6. Like, Carl is, while he's known as a range 1 character, his range 3, like, he's got 2 options at range 3 that hit at that are 6 speed, you know? And maybe, to be fair, that is the plan. Like, maybe he's holding like EX disarming strike or something to just win outright, but Amigo does have to be super careful about that. But he already won 1 big bet to get into the game. Let's see what happens here. Boosting Power of the Eye. Look at the opponent's hand and then strike. Let's see this hand. Let's see. Yeah, let's see what Teketria is hiding here on Carl. We have... Oh, okay. I can kind of see what's going on here. Wow, this hand kind of sucks. EX authorized, EX Swangy, grasp, dive, focus. Is that... I guess that's why he wasn't doing any of the things I was wanting him to do. But then interestingly, like, chooses to keep both ultras and like doesn't like change cards to garbage in his hand for more things. So yeah, the main threat in the hand there for Migo is the X dive. Focus does not hit, grasp does not hit, and Swangy does not hit. That's the main thing you have to be considered about EX dive. However, if you do a thing like assault, Carl can always respond with focus, right? And Carl can respond. Carl can just say, "Hey," can make a little bit of a bet. Say, "Hey, you're not playing second spike," and respond with EX focus for a billion armor. Although maybe reading is a win con again for Carl now. No, also has 13 cards in deck, so I don't think he's. If he wasn't willing to boost it at that last juncture, I don't think he's willing to boost reading at this juncture. Now the question is, do you play something like Spike as Bigo? Spike does not beat a lot of things, right? It very notably loses that EX dive. I believe he spent the gauge for +1 speed on this, yeah, because that Spike's no longer engaged. Yep, he's just showing that again. Okay, so +1 speed on this strike. The lights kind of nullify each other. +1 speed means like his dive now beats EX dive in the hand of Carl. So yeah, this could very well just be dive coming out from Migo. So while that EX focus would mitigate damage, it wouldn't actually hit back, obviously. However, you would, like, if Migo jumps into range 1, like, what stops EX grasp from happening is the unfortunate, like, kind of uncomfortable question. So maybe he doesn't jump into range 1 here. So maybe not dive. Maybe spike again, honestly. EX focus. Oh, sweep. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this sweep will do 3 damage. Pull a card randomly, and then Carl will miss. So yeah, sweep looks good here. Yeah, dive really looked. The more we looked at it, dive looked kind of questionable there, huh? From Migo, like you don't want to get into range 1 against a character that has EX grasp like that, and actually pulls the dive out of the hand. So no dive available. Although looks like Teketria is setting up an EX attack. He's EX something. He's doing EX something from his hand. Probably that top deck, which is just, you know, sometimes the top card of your deck makes the best mix up here, right? So yeah, this is, you just gotta play. I think you just gotta play the odds here as Migo, and see, he might not even have an armored option in his hand, honestly. But like, because like if this is something like if he drew the assault off the top, like it needs the block, obviously. If you draw something like spike off the top, rough. I don't remember. I think one spike is down and like one dive is down on Carl's side. I believe he has both assaults up on the reshuffle. Again, I'm not gonna check just because I don't want to interrupt this really good game. Started off as kind of a little bit of a stinker, but has ended up being a pretty close game, all things considered. Although, to be fair, like I hate to like harp on this, but I really feel like Carl did let Noel back into the game a little bit. But maybe my estimation on that is wrong, just because we did see the hand. It looked like a little bit of a dead hand, but there are options to get out of dead hands in this game, right? Especially if you have multiple ultras in hand. There are options. Like, you can always change cards to get the stuff that you need. It does look like a lot of Carl's like finisher tools at range 3 were gone. EX Assault in response. Oh no, loses to Carl's EX Assault, and that'll be it. Yeah, Amigo looking at a little bit of a dead hand here. Just had to make the bet that Carl didn't draw Assault off the top. Teketria takes the game 1-0. Oh no, the Wild Swing Cross would have worked. Well, I mean, it would have. Oh no, the Wild Swing Cross would not have worked. Okay, never mind. This is speed 6, obviously. Sorry, every time I just see cross, it's like, oh, okay, this card always wins combat, but no, would not have worked in this case. Migo needed exactly block to stop the EX Assault coming through. So yeah, Teketria takes game 1 with Carl. Very dominating start and finish strong. I like that. Although, I mean, drew the Assault off the top to finish strong, I guess. But game 1 goes to Carl. Migo down 0-1. This is essentially another elimination match. for top 4 because I believe both these guys are 2-1. So characters left. Teketria, I believe, has 2 pretty badly regarded characters. Teketria has Sydney Serena and Kokonoe left. Sydney Serena is regarded as pretty low tier, and Kokonoe, I believe, is the same. Migo has, of course, the Jin, the Noelle, and Selinka. So let's see what both competitors go for here. Yeah, that game definitely felt like a game of 2 halves, where Carl dominated for the first half of the game, and then Noelle dominated for the second half of the game, but just didn't have enough HP to close it out. And those overloads, man, overload literally wins games. It's so good. It's such a good thing to have on an ultra. I think yeah, ultra boosts are good, but like Carl's normals are just so scary, especially when you're exceeded and then you have the overload on top of that. Like what a powerhouse of a character. Okay, looks like Teketria's ready with their pick. Migo deciding what to pick here. Got the hidden We got the hidden zones here, so we can actually take a look and see. Ooh, apologies for swinging the camera violently like that. I'll try not to do that again in the future. And I will say that, but then I will do it again in the future, so tough luck. I apologize, it's kind of mean. Okay. Looks like Migo bringing out the Selinka. Little season 2 throwback against Sydney Serena. Okay. Should be an interesting one. Let's see if Sydney Serena can zone out Wishing Ward. That's basically it, right? A lot of Selinka's power, I think, is concentrated in this like, super good card. 1 billion damage. And you get card draw on top of it. I mean, Selinka obviously has other cool things, but that's the good stuff, right? Migo actually getting the rare like card back. Apparently it's just like an April Fool's joke or something. I think my card back's better if you want to. Oh, actually I don't have it up in this game. I had it up in my last game. My normals and my card back, because they're top tier, and they should be in the mod. Just saying. Maybe I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys after the game if I remember. Although if this set goes to game 3, then I probably will not remember. But this is gonna be an interesting one. Sydney probably early is maybe like with something like Sport Burst is gonna be able to zone Slink out for a bit. But once Slinka gets in, those Wishing Wards are really scary. And Slinka does have ranged options. She has a range 5 dive or speed 5 dive in Moonfall. And she has a card with admittedly low guard, but does hit pretty far. Sydney, a character that likes to have Sydney, a character that likes to be like at the corner and have the plant do most of the fighting. But we'll see if Teketria. We'll see what Teketria has as far as tricks up his sleeve. We did see a Sydney Serena game a couple days ago, actually. I think it was LeBruce versus Rose, if you want to check that out. I believe it was Sydney Serena versus Dan, and Sydney Serena did a really like, they drew both Spore Burst early, which is lucky, but they were able to zone out Dan incredibly well. So let's see if we see a similar performance like that from Teketria on this Sydney Serena. Selinka opting to go first. Sydney Serena opting to go second. It is so weird to see Season 2 characters that aren't very good. Slink is okay. You know what? Unlike last time, I won't share my opinion on the CPAT tier list that nobody asked for, version 1.01. I think we're on version 1.02 now, actually. But Slinka looks like she didn't like her hand. Mulls 4. Sydney Serena only mulling 1. Organizing his hand. Okay. I like it. I like to see it. Like, I feel like if you like organize like one card, that's a little bit of a tell that they have an EX in hand. I don't know. So like, what I do is like, if I organize my cards like that, I will like immediately shuffle them. I might even shuffle them until the cards that I want next to each other end up next to each other. Boom. Little tip there for those of you fighting me, which will probably never happen. Although, maybe if we get the Pookie versus the World setup. Okay. Turn 1 strike from Selinka. Could be Dive, could be Moonflare, could be Moonfall. All three of these options hit. Not mashing Spore Burst immediately tells me that Sydney doesn't have Spore Burst. I'm really just looking through the cards and seeing what's out there for Selinka. I feel like Spore Burst is a pretty good option against all three of them, though, and get that early transform in, which is important because Sydney, when he transforms, gets a little heal off Serena as well. EX in response. Spicy stuff. Moonflare against EX Spore Burst. EX Spore Burst. That seems like a little bit of a waste. I think Spore Burst is a super good card that you don't really need to EX, but like I think a lot, maybe my estimation is incorrect here, but I think a lot of Sydney Serena's power is in this one card, or yeah, in more or less this one card. But hey, gets the value, gets that Spore Burst back into, gets the EX copy back into Gauge. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like Spore Burst doing 10 damage in a game, I feel like is super cool. So yeah, Selinka will hit first for 4. We'll draw 2 cards off that, and then EX Spore Burst will hit back for 6, and the second copy of Spore Burst will get gauged. Sydney opts to transform Lignin Reinforcement. Apologies on that. Lignin Reinforcement, so can get armor by spending Gauge. Sydney is a character that, in theory, can generate a lot of Gauge with the innate ability, as well as with like even outrunning his Kiss can generate Gauge for him. Spore Burst generates Gauge for him. Okay, opts for the... Is this another player that likes to do the Sydney's innate ability early? So you spend a life to add the top card of your deck to your Gauge. Migo, on the other hand, did not transform his card. His Moonflare with a Familiar Taste. If there's a copy of the opponent's card, you get +3 guard when sealed. Okay, yep. Boosting this makes sense to me. This is why we missed that. We missed the Spore Burst, right? But maybe there's a plan there. Wild Swing in response. Dive against the Choking Thorns. Choking Thorns will at least mitigate a little bit of damage, but Dive will hit for 3. Choking Thorns will miss. And unfortunately for him, there's actually no discard card to add to Gauge. So I'm assuming something like an Assault Boost coming out. Yep, Assault Boost. Sydney goes to the other side. And yeah, Selinka does have... this is a Feral Leap. Pretty good boost against the Zoner type characters. We figured... We didn't really check the cards too much. But she... Like, that she does have that option against a character that's really far away. Doesn't really have too much more, actually, as far as boosting goes, besides Cross, which everyone has until season 6 apparently. But we all know that's not coming out for another 10 years. Heyo. There we go. We got our season 6 joke in for the week. Tune in next week for when we make another one. Okay, Sydney boosted Assault, retreating the full 4 spaces. Selinka has to decide whether she has enough resources to close the distance now, or will close the distance later, and risk potentially losing a strike to like a Blossom Haze or a Venom Lash, something like that. Okay, nope. Boost Cross ends up sitting on top of the plant. That Choking Thorns would have looked pretty good right now off the Wild Swing. Yep, this makes sense to me. I wonder why it took him so long to boost that. That seems like an obvious good play. Sydney boosting Light in response. Yeah, checking discards. I don't think he's gonna read here. I don't think there's even anything in the discard besides the Choking Thorns and the Assault. No, there's not. Okay, Selinka doing her Selinka prepare. Let's zoom in on the character card and see. So when she prepares, she may put up to 3 cards from her hand into play as face down continues to boost that read +1 power, and when this card would be discarded, seal it instead. So Selinka has a little bit of a cool gimmick where she seals cards from her deck. So the sealed cards are not part of the deck or discard, obviously, and they end up in the sealed area, so they're inaccessible for the rest of the game. But Selinka gets bonuses when she seals cards. So, for example, she gets +1 power, +1 armor on this. Looks like a parry is coming out here from Cindy Serena. Parry misses, looks like it's hand. We have 0, 2, 6, Moon Ritual Dance, Swift Exorcism. But yeah, as I was saying before, Selinka gets bonuses, so she gets +1 power right now. When she flips, she gets +1 power on every strike for 5 cards she has sealed. And she has like other, like Dispelling Horn. You can seal cards for bonuses as well. We believe we looked at that. Devour My Own Tail. What does this do? If you hit with your attack, you can seal it to draw 2 cards and discard a card in Final River. Familiar Taste gives you +3 guard. And where's the parry? I'm assuming parry was on focus, so we got a handful of normals here. Kind of sketch. 2, 6, 7, Pea Shooter, Blossom Haze. I feel like she has a card. I think it is this one. So she gets like half of the Minato special, of the Minato bonus. So she doesn't get the speed or the guard, but she does get +1 power, +1 armor. So yeah, she basically the goal with Selinka, from what I've seen, is to discard one, or is to seal one of every card. It's like 1 block, 1 dive, 1 assault, etc., etc. So that way you get like pseudo EXs, although you don't get full EXs like Minato does. And you get other bonuses as well. And then when you're ready to finish the game, you exceed Gaki. I believe it's called Gaki. Surely it's called Gaki, and not pronounced like Gaki or something. Yeah, and that's one way to finish the game, says Selinka. Just overwhelm them with massive power. I feel like there was another. Oh yeah, Purifying Roar gets +1 speed, so this becomes like a 10 speed monster. Low damage, but can go up to 4, and then you can get additional bonuses from other abilities. What is going on there? And what just happened? Oh, so boosted Preda Memory. This is actually the first time I've seen the boost on Moon Ritual Dance. So let's actually take a look at this. This is the first time I've seen it, as Cindy now has +4 speed. This seems a little excessive, but seems actually immensely excessive. But maybe like a plan to hit Choking Thorns or something. Oh, we don't have his cards here. We have his cards here. Like that, I guess. No, not Choking Thorns. Choking Thorns is Stone Immunity. That's not the one. Cindy doesn't have any Ignore Armor off the plan. I don't know why you thought he did. I mean, Spike is like a speed 7 thing, I guess. Other than that, it seems super. Like that's a lot. That's a lot of speed, sir, that you have. But hey, yep. The poor man's tech with the wild swing from Migo. Yep, that is the spike. Yep, just loses a sweep. Not much you could have done. At least it's only a 5 damage spike. Gets rid of the face down boost from Selinka's ability. I don't think Selinka will care too much about that. Although sneakily, while I was like explaining a lot of things about Selinka as a character, down a lot of cards, and now can no longer move with Vine Snare. So yeah, Vine Snare is the redeeming half of Pea Shooter. Pea Shooter, don't play Pea Shooter in combat. It's not very good. Well, I mean, it closes out games in theory, I guess. In theory. But yeah, Vine Snare, very good boost. Mio, I feel like he has to prep here or something. He's low. Yeah, he's going for the Selinka prep. I don't know if he can afford to seal 1. Maybe he seals 1 max. Okay, opts to seal 1. So yeah, that's the thing about Slinka preparing is that while you get the bonuses, okay, and we see a Sapphire boost coming out from Sydney Serena. This I've never seen this boost either. Usually I see Sydney Serena players try to hit with Verdant Slaughter as many times as possible to win the game. But no, opts to boost this instead. So we'll draw 2 cards and then can spend a gauge to transform a card from hand. And transforms the Blossom Haze. So now, uh, whenever Sydney Serena gets spends a gauge in the strike and they're not stunned, they can now uh, position the opponent a little bit. You push or pull one. That's interesting. I've never seen that boosted before. Cool. I mean, cool. Yeah, I mean, I've never seen like a boost Preda Memory, and I've never seen Sydney Serena boost Sapphireite. To be fair, I've seen Migo play Silica way more than I've seen anyone else play Sydney Serena, but cool. Cool stuff. Slinka is still vine snared, cannot move. Migo should note that Blossom Haze has been transformed, so the hand is now 6, 7 are the only 2 note cards. Slinka opting to Slinka prepare again. This makes sense. Get some more power boosts. Oh, interesting. Chooses not to boost at all. In response, Sydney boosting +2 power. Interesting stuff. Okay. Mio really liking that hand. For one reason or another. And chooses not to seal anything. Another reason you could have for not trying to seal anything is just if like these cards, you don't want to seal 2 copies of the same card as Slinka. That's a big no. You want 1 copy sealed for every card, and then nothing more. You don't want to seal 2 copies of a card. Very rarely do I see Slinka players actually seal 2 copies of one specific card. And it's usually by the end game where it doesn't matter because they're on Gaki and they're about to wreck shop or whatever. Looks like Migo thinking about striking into this. No reading. Okay. Cross in hand. Will he read the cross? Migo saying, hey, I've drawn the focus. It would be really unfortunate if City Serena has EX cross, though. Oh, hits. Oh, interesting. Okay, just banking on whether Sydney had drawn focus in hand. I believe this is the first focus we've seen. And only 9 cards in deck, 7 in hand. Decent shot of hitting it. And gets good value with the spike. Pea shooters thrown across the room here. And yeah, 5 damage, gets the gauge. Not bad at all. 6 damage, I believe, because one card was boosted here, face down. And yeah, it was indeed the spike boosted down. Whenever Migo plays Slinka, he's not gonna sort his sealed area, and I'm gonna hate it. I hate it. I'm not gonna even look at it. I will sort his sealed area for him because it bothers me. It bothers me. But good combat win there from Migo. A little bit expensive. Doesn't have a lot left as far as hand size is concerned. Okay, boosting second Vine Snare. Teketria knows where the real card is at on this card as well. Migo cannot move again. Notably, Sydney Serena still has the cross in hand. Looks like Slinka opting to prepare, looking at the hand. He did not boost last time. I think these 3 cards were the same 3 cards that he had. So it'll be interesting to see whether he chooses these 3 cards he had in hand before. I don't know if he shuffled his hand. Well, he hasn't shuffled his hand since he picked up the draw. So these 3 cards we know he had in hand. Don't know if he's willing to boost one now. Maybe there's a little bit of information to be gleaned there. But also, these guys are playing pretty fast. I don't think they'll be paying too much attention to it. I like the shuffle there. I like the hand shuffle a lot. Good play. I know we're talking about like meta plays now, but if anything, he should shuffle his hand again. Yep, there, beautiful, love it. Sydney Serena just instantly prepares after Migos prepare. I wouldn't be surprised if Slinka prepares one more time, just get some power boosts in play. Remember, it is still vine snared, so cannot move. Can be moved, but cannot move. Nobody's standing right on top of the plant, so both ultras are live for Sydney Serena. Striking. Okay. I feel like I expect an Alrana's Kiss come out from City Serena. EX. EX Cross against the Moon Ritual Dance. Okay. So Migo will hit for 3 because of this transformation. So that's why you want one copy of everything transformed. This will be 3 power, which will pop the EX Cross. On hit, he may return a normal or special from sealed area to hand. Don't know if he will. I don't know if there's anything worth returning, especially if the threat of reading is still around. And it is optional. It's not forced like maybe Cyrus's is forced. I don't remember any other characters that have. I feel like there's another character that has a forced hand return. Renea's forced? Renea on Paranormal, I think, is forced. Oh, no, it's not. It's optional. I don't remember. But yeah, Sydney Serena will take 2 after armor. Yep. Good discard management there from Teketria. Also, I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. Teketria sounds good to me. It sounds like a good name to me. Pronounced that way. So I'm just going to continue pronouncing it that way. I forgot to ask beforehand. But yeah, that's that +1 power off the pseudo EX that we were discussing 20 minutes ago when we were looking at Slinka's kit. Actually mattered there. Actually paid off big. Let's see how Sydney Serena handles this. Slinka on top of the plant. Sydney pretty close. Closer than he'd like to be, maybe. Opts for the prep instead. Now that Alurane's Kiss is looking pretty good, though. Like the Alurane's Kiss Verdant Slaughter mix up there. Although it doesn't have the gauge to give Verdant Slaughter extra guard. But that's how I've seen a lot of Sydney Serena's win games, is with the Ultras. So I'm a little bit shocked that we haven't seen one yet, although he's only been at 2 gauge. He's been at 2 gauge for a while now. Okay, EX Transform Moonfall. So this is Devour My Own Tail. At the end of each strike, if you hit with your attack, you can seal it to get some deck velocity movement. Yep, nailed it. We're just going deck velocity movement. We're going with it. We're going with that. But notably allows you to seal your combat card, which is just as important, I think. Especially if you're going for the full rainbow here. Which Amigo is halfway there. He's got 2, 3, 6, 7 sealed. Okay, Sydney opting to strike. A lot of different things this could be. Like, this could be choking. This could be the Ultras. Can't be cross. Could be something cheeky like Spike or something. I don't know. That EX, losing that EX cross is actually super. That's really bad. Not really bad, but that's pretty bad. A character like Sydney Serena wants to run away with Cross is obviously such a good combat option there. Okay, focus against the Choking Thorns. Okay, so Choking Thorns will take 2 damage. Because I believe focus is not sealed yet. Nope. And then Choking Thorns will hit back for 4 after armor. Migo will draw a card. Did Migo draw a card? And he does have the option to... Well, he has to draw first off the focus before deciding whether to devour his own tail or not. I actually don't remember if he drew. Yeah, okay, he didn't draw. Yeah, so that happens before the Devour My Own Tail. Whether he wants to seal it. No, opts for the gauge it. So yeah, notably Devour My Own Tail means you don't get the gauge. Which can be important. Moon Ritual Dance is down, but Purifying Roar is still up. Opts not to devour his own tail. I believe now it's Migo's turn. Sydney Serena actually has a decent amount of gauge now. Can exceed. Although Slinka sitting on top of Sydney is actually super annoying. That's actually really good positioning there from Migo. Really good positioning from Migo. Okay, Migo opting for Slinker Prepare. Opts to boost one face down card. The instant strike from Sydney Serena. Okay, spicy. Both focuses are down on Migo's side. Both sweeps are down, so maybe this is Alrana's Kiss. Notably, both Wishing Wards are up though, so maybe it's not. Wishing Ward is the card you gotta look out for. Like Slinka, so much of Slinka's damage is in this one card, and Slinka does a lot of damage, but this card's insane. You gotta watch out for the Wishing Ward here. If City Serena is down both spikes, maybe you just mash Wishing Ward. I don't see why not. Clearly doesn't have EX Wishing Ward here, because I feel like that's an instant mash. Maybe my assessment's incorrect, though. Maybe he still has a spike up. But I know one spike was spent on that +4 Clown Fiesta. On the +4 speed, but I don't know if the second one's down. Could end up being a pretty crucial combat for Slinka. Maybe Slinka doesn't even have Wishing Ward. Like, totally possible. They could be both in the bottom 7 cards of the deck. Just block into the Alrana's Kiss. Okay, so this will drain a little bit of gauge from Migo. First, let Sydney Serena validate, but they will get the cards back. This will be 4 power coming through. Goes 2 armor, and will spend focus from gauge to take nothing. Does Migo want to seal his block, I guess is the question. Yeah, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Migo hasn't drawn his Wishing Wards yet. That sucks. Okay, Assault gets added to the sealed area. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think Wishing Ward is so good. Yep. Okay, and notably because Gauge was spent, Salenka, it gets pushed off I wanted to say the doll because I'm used to fighting Carl Clover, another stationary puppet that is low tier. Heyo. We'll reset the clock. It's been 0 days since a Carl Clover diss on this channel. Reset the clock. But yeah, wonder Migo super low on resources actually. Both Wishing Wards surely left in that deck. Kind of rough. Maybe would you maybe change cards your gauge to dig for it? I don't know. Doesn't seem like the worst option right now. You have 3 force engage, you draw 4 at the end of the turn. Over regular preparing. I don't really know if you're using your gauge to hit for a while, right? The next opportunity you have to hit, unless you're going for a Purifying Roar. He could be going for a Purifying Roar, but it's just so low impact as far as damage goes. Okay, Migo just opting to regular prepare. Yep, I called that a little early, but it felt like he wasn't doing that. EX attack coming out from Sydney Serena. This is just this is a normal. Is it assault? No, it's not assault. We should be able to, we'll leave it as an exercise for the reader again what EX this is. Both players looking at their discard, Teketria's discard, because assuming this is correct. It could be, no, it can't be Venom Lash. Venom Lash hits the corners of the board. So this is like EX something. We just don't know what. If we were more astute commentator, we would know what this is. But we're not, so that's the charm. That's the charm of this channel. We don't know what this guaranteed attack is. That's the charm of this channel. That's why you keep coming back. Thank you for your support, by the way. As we ramble slowly into madness. Migo looking at his deck, they hear Wild Swinging. Doesn't have a response in hand. Looking for that Wishing Ward, maybe? Okay, Wild Swing against EX Dive. Okay. It's not nearly as cool as I thought it would be. Yeah, EX Dive will do 6. Yeah, not sealed, so EX Dive will do 6. Pop the guard on Moonflare, which only has a very sad 3 guard on there. EX Dive, huh? I guess that was the only EX left. Or maybe there was a second one that we just don't know. I mean, it's not Grasp, it's not Cross, it's not Assault. Dive was there, Spike Engage. Sweeps were used for +2 speed. It's not Focus. Yeah, EX Dive was the only option there, I guess. Amigo unfortunately just had no way to deal with it. Sydney Serena now has Life Lead. Sydney also has a bunch of gauge to exceed. So when Sydney exceeds at 10 HP or less, he gets a little bit of a heal as well. Okay, Wishing Ward. This should pop. I mean, yeah, this is good, right? Seal up to 3 cards from hand. It'll pop the Focus. Power of Wishing Ward. Oh, interesting. I actually had Wishing Ward in hand. And yeah, this is one of those rare times where you don't care that the EX that both cards are sealed here. A little bit unfortunate that he doesn't get to use Fortune's Roar. Clearly caught with like a little bit of a dead hand here. But yeah, we'll do 8 damage, 6 after armor, popping Focus, Wishing Ward again. Just such a good card, man. Such a good card. Yeah, I personally like to save even like a dive, like a range 1 dive, just against Wishing Ward, but that's just because I fought Migo like several times. Like I have a read on him, so I even sometimes like save a dive for him, honestly, because Wishing Ward is that impactful of a card. Interesting, boosting Sacrifice again. This is 6 cards engaged, so this is gonna be a full reload. Don't know if he will transform this. I think he's missing Venom Lash. Might as well. I mean, lower that exceed cost by another 2. So I don't think it's a bad idea to spend the gauge to transform Venom Lash here. Can, in theory, EX transform it the next turn, but I think it's a little bit too slow. I think you want to be a little bit faster here. And we see the hand of 3/5 Venom Lash, Alurane's Kiss. Unfortunately, the one downside to that boost is that Verdant Slaughter does not go back into the deck. Goes into the discard pile. Shouldn't... Also is missing an Alurane's Kiss as well, so only has 1 of each Ultra. Granted, the Alurane's Kiss is in hand. But... a little bit low. I guess Sydney... Sling is low enough to where that's not the biggest deal in the world. Only having 1 copy of each Ultra in the deck is not the biggest deal in the world. Slinka may be looking at a reshuffle action here. Has 1 card left in deck. Maybe looking at the reshuffle action here. Just deny that. Maybe he doesn't need this card. Denies a little bit of hand knowledge, although, I mean, we kind of know what these cards are, right? Yeah, it looks like Migo is opting for the reshuffle action. Teketria just peering at the discard here. Has a decent amount of things transformed, actually. Has 5 normals transformed. Has 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 transformed. So all the fast normals have a little bit of extra kick to them. Unfortunately, the one big downside that I can see is that the Wishing Ward is stuck in gauge, which is a little bit unfortunate. As is the Uppercut Ultra. So yeah, maybe a change cards would have been preferable to a reshuffle action here. Although you'd have to reveal his hand, and maybe there's reasons that he doesn't want to reveal the hand. But unfortunately, the Moon Ritual Dance and the Wishing Ward are stuck in gauge here. Those are 2, like, Wishing Ward does immense damage, obviously, and Moon Ritual Dance can be a game closer. I mean, it's got an uppercut shape. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but Salinka can add damage in numerous ways. I believe Migo actually has not declared the reshuffle action yet. So maybe still considering that as well. If he wants to get these back into the deck, I could see a world where I'd like this play. Change cards 3, get these back in the deck. But maybe these cards, like, he doesn't want to. Oh, interesting. Opts a strike instead. Grasp into block. Okay. I didn't really expect. I didn't really expect Migo to strike there. I did not expect that at all. So this Grasp has 4 power behind it. Plus 1 power coming off. Good to the last bite. Didn't. Oh, I don't really like that name on that. I don't really like the name on that transform, to be honest. Not a fan. Sydney gets pushed to the corner. Obviously, you don't want to push on Serena. Make him spend the 1 gauge to exceed. I'm assuming Sydney's going to exceed next turn. Discards the Venom Lash. This makes sense to me. And I'm assuming Sydney's just going to exceed now, while he still can get the value off it. And I'm also assuming Migo is not going to seal this copy of Grasp. Surely it's got to go to Gauge. Well, call me a fool. I'm just horribly incorrect. I am incorrect. I wonder what the reasoning is. Is the reasoning so that he transforms into Gaki and tries to finish him off in 1 strike? Off like a 7 power assault? I am stumped. I'm not, again, when I'm stumped, I don't want to. Why is that dive going to discard? Up, and here's the instant. Oh, dive's going to discard because of Devour My Own Tail. Yep, that makes sense. Yep, Sydney opting for the exceed action, so poor Sydney gets eaten by Serena, who now gets +1 power and +1 gauge. Whenever they set a special or ultra attack, they can spend 4 +1 power, +1 range. Okay. And on top of that, Serena now gets a little bit of a health boost. Because Sydney was so delicious, I guess. Yeah. We still have some game left. So this sealing of this Grasp tells me that Migo is going for to finish this game as Gaki. But yeah, I don't know. This change cards, man. It just feels like too many good cards got left behind, you know? Oh, it's not change cards, it's a move action. Excuse me. Okay. That's probably better. Guess we have the no normal in hand as well. I thought he was changing cards, and it's like, no. Surely if you change cards now, you wanted to change cards last turn to get those back into the reshuffle. Sydney opting to strike here from range 1. Ultras are still a threat. Ultras are a massive threat here, actually. Looking at the specials now, the specials work differently because now they no longer have stationary ranges. They have ranges that move. It's like Choking Thorns hits, Spore Burst hits, and Blossom Haze hits as well. As well as, of course, the Ultras. I believe Sydney did not spend, or Serena now, excuse me. Serena did not spend for extra gauge, for extra power. So this is going to be a 7 damage sweep with 1 armor on it. Is Migo's response to this face down card, which is a 6 power sweep. So a little bit of a trade here. Migo will take 5. Sydney will take 7. The card will be discarded first from Migo's hand. Gets rid of that Swift Exorcism, so this card is unknown. Sydney will take 7. And will get... Migo will pull a card. Okay, devouring his own tail again. Probably just doing it this time for the card draw, though. Because with only 1 card in hand, just needs more options. Makes sense to me. And plus, you don't really need the bonus on the second time around, right? Because there's no second reshuffle. So seems fine to me. Notably now, maybe he doesn't even need Gaki anymore to finish the game. I thought Gaki would be the way he tries to win the game. Did Migo discard a random card from a sweep? I feel like he didn't. No, he didn't. Okay, grabs the assault. Yeah, we just want to make sure that the game's going. Yeah, we gotta make sure that the game is going properly. You know, that's our job here. We've caught the two mistakes that we saw. Hopefully there weren't more. If there are more, do not leave a comment in the comment section below whether I made a mistake or not. But yeah, this game's going down to the wire. 4 HP on Selinka, 5 HP on City. Probably doesn't want to Exceed anymore. I thought Exceed would be the win con, but I was horribly mistaken there. Migo trying to find another win con instead. That Alarane's Kiss is looking really scary, though. I'll tell you that much. I believe. Oh, actually, not super scary. Both focuses and both blocks are still in the deck. Migo did not seal either of them. We thought he was going to seal the focus, but he chose not to, I guess. Oh, I don't see it here, so he obviously didn't. Yeah, interesting. Wants to finish the game on Selinko's side. There's a win con here somewhere. I think Sydney Serena's win con is a little more clear. Reading is what Selinka's going for. Okay. This could be it. I mean, this is a little bit of a Hail Mary. Look at this. 4 cards in hand, 12 in deck. That's a little bit of a Hail Mary right there, if I've ever seen one. Although, it's not, because we saw the spike. He kept a spike. But it looks like Mio can't finish the game, right? Because he's not mashing the attack. Reading Wild Swing, okay. Moonfall, unfortunately, will not do the job here. And they'll only do... What did that do for? Oh, sorry, because Moonfall is transformed. Sorry, I'm used to only seeing it from the sealed area, but it's also the transformation area as well. So that Moonfall does 4 damage. Not enough to finish the game, but Sydney Serena down to 1 HP. We are going down to the wire here. The reading to the Wild Swing, I like it. I like it a lot. Selinka, basically everything hits at range 1, not the biggest deal in the world. I'm assuming that's the discard from Devour My Own Tail. Yep, that makes sense to me. Moonflare is not a card that's going to give you anything. Sydney just prepping. Not a good hand. Doesn't, like, has the obvious Alurani's Kiss, but not choosing to play it here. Not choosing to play it here for one reason or another. Nobody, you can spend 1 gauge on Alurani's Kiss to have a 5 power one, but still loses to focus, which I believe the second copy is in these 7 cards here. Doesn't 2 blocks to the left from Migo, so it doesn't want to throw that away. Throw it away to a block either, because maybe you won't be able to finish the game after that. Well, I believe most of Migo's fast options are gone. 2 grasps are sealed, and 1 swift exorcism is transformed. The other one was discarded. So Migo's out of fast options. No moon ritual dances either. Yeah, this is a very tricky. This is a very delicate endgame here from these characters because they're not the top of season 2. So both delicate season 2. I wonder what this gauge is doing here. It's been sitting there all game, but there's nothing to threaten. If he needs cards, then surely a change cards action will be happening, right? Maybe he's saving the gauge as force for future use. Gaki comes out. When you exceed seal or discard pile, your attacks have +1 power for every 5 cards that are sealed, and anything that goes here now ends up sealed instead. So we have, let's see here, we have probably 15. Me just putting the cards together. Yeah, surely that's 20 cards sealed. So Gaki has +3 power on all of the strikes for the remainder of the game. That's a power play. Now. Yeah, okay. Boosting +2 power makes sense. Alrene's Kiss is the threat here. Like we saw, Migo does not have any fast options left to his name. So Alrene's Kiss is the threat here, for sure. On top of that Alrene's Kiss will do 5 damage, +2 armor, +2 power, 7 damage total. So Migo has to be prepared for that. Luckily, does have the Moon Ritual Dance engaged for force, if he wants to block. And indeed, the Fierce Boost gets teched. Really, really tense endgame here. Boosting +4 armor. Well, now will not die to the focus. Actually, will die to the focus still because of Gaki. Gaki has +3 power. These plays feel kind of slow to me. I don't, from both sides. I guess they just don't have the options that they need. They'd rather wrestle for position with boosts rather than strike. A really, really tense endgame, though. Me go down to 6 cards in hand and deck. In danger of even, probably not going to deck out, but I think Migo strikes before he decks out, obviously. But, I mean, has a very specific set of options. I believe it's like a focus, 2 blocks. No Wishing Wards, no Ultras, no Moonfall. A Dispelling Horn is surely in there. That's fast. This is his fast option right here. It's a 6-speed Dispelling Horn. No Swifts. Maybe he has 2 Dispelling Horns in there even. I don't even think he sealed one. Maybe a Moonflare as well. Something like 0, 0, 1 Moonflare EX Dispelling Horn is what he has left. Something like that. Sydney has tons of cards. Sydney has 12 cards left. One of each Ultra. Oh, we can actually see it here because Migo actually tracks the cards. One of each Ultra. Wait, Alrene's Kiss is gone? When... Did he use it in combat? I'm confused. I guess I'm just tripping over my wires or something because it's been a long game. It's been like an hour since this game started. Very tense end game. Very, very close back in. This one definitely more back and forth than the last one, which had exactly 1 back and forth. I guess if you want to look at it from a technical standpoint. I hope you guys enjoy my like weird humor. It's not really humor. My like weird observations and all that. Migo putting the tactical blindfold on. I think you can do that with B, right? Tactical blindfold. That's a new level of BM. God of Women mix really need to learn the new BM. After we saw that hideous display of trash talk a couple days ago. I like this from Migo. Put the blindfold on. Let him know. Put the blindfold on and then wild swing. That's the real play. That +4 armor though doesn't make as big a. The only thing I think of is that Dispelling Horn no longer. No, Dispelling Horn still kills. Unless there's more armor and like a focus or something from Sydney Serena. Is there a way for Sydney Serena to... Surely there's not a way... Surely there's not... I don't think there's 2 blocks. If there were 2 blocks in here, then maybe there would be a way to just have Slinka run out of damage, but I don't think that's the case here. Okay, Teketria, like... He's, like, helping... We've got, like, new levels of sportsmanship here. Teketria looks like he's helping Migo track Teketria's cards. We've got new levels of sportsmanship here. I would not. Listen, you gotta win. Listen, man, it's not your job to take care of your opponent's cards, but Teketria, what a nice guy. Wins the nice guy award for the day. But yeah, the Alorani's Kiss, I'm pretty sure, is still in hand. So that should have never been flipped, to be fair. But it's Migo's job to track his cards, right? It's not Teketria's job, but hey, man, there you go. Migo opting for a strike here. This could be the final strike of the game. Could be the final strike of the game. Now is this the focus? I guess is the question. Because focus actually also beats Verdant Slaughter as well. Because focus outspeeds it. And this focus would do 7 damage. Now Teketria looking for your discard. I wonder, there's 6 cards left. He should definitely take the time, especially in a non-timered environment, should definitely take the time to determine what those 6 cards are. Because this could be the difference between winning 2-0 and going to a game 3. Actually, almost certainly the difference between winning 2-0 and going to game 3. Unless Migo initiated with something lame like block. I mean, this could be it. I think we narrowed it down that Dispelling a Horn was the fast option. Moonflare is the useless option. And then there's a bunch of slow... There's 2 blocks and a slow thing left. Hopefully we're correct in our estimation, and actually, you know what? Hopefully we're incorrect, so that way we get super hype when we see the Swift Exorcism come out for the kill. But I don't think it's happening. Teketria ready. This could be the final combat here. It's not. It's just crossing the block. Crossing the block. Cross was the 6th card. So this will be a 6 damage cross coming in. And City Serena has 6 armor. So now we are at range 4. So like an opposite Devour Our Own Tail. So we'll draw 2 cards. We'll seal this. I mean, it's getting sealed anyway. We'll draw 2 cards and we'll discard it, or we'll seal 1 card from our hand. So get down to 4 cards left, 3 in hand, 1 in deck. This feels like it could be a checkmate situation, unfortunately. No, I mean, it can never be a checkmate situation because Migo has blocks left, but Gaki is now an uncomfortable distance away from from Serena, excuse me. Yeah, an uncomfortable distance away, I would say. Yo, kind of hoping that cross would finish the... No. I mean, that cross finishes the game off if Teketria... He's willing to... Yeah, discards... Seals the Moonflare, which I feel like, again, was the option... Was the range 4 option? Teketria only has 2 cards in hand, to be fair. So, like... And one of them is Alorani's Kiss. Interestingly enough, Migo was willing to die to Alorani's Kiss. So that's just the kind of... So you can see the kind of plays that you have to make. This kind of tough plays you have to make. You just gotta say, hey, sometimes I'm gonna lose my essentially tournament life if you play this card. But if I win with it, it's gonna do good things. Those are the kind of tough decisions you have to make as a tournament player in this game, in any game really. So I respect that a lot. Grasp boost. Okay. Grasp boost over like a change cards action. Even though that one known card is Alorani's Kiss, which doesn't hit at range 4 and cannot hit even with Serena's innate ability. Does Migo actually have a strike that hits here? I thought he didn't, but maybe I'm just super incorrect with my tracking of the cards. Should I just bite the bullet and search this? You know, I am gonna bite the bullet here. Let's see what Migo is left. Normals, he has a block and a focus left. We didn't know that. Specials, he has a lot of specials. So ultras, I believe he is out of ultras. Yep. And specials, he has one copy of Swift Exorcist. No. Specials. What specials does he have left? Swift Exorcism. Oh, he has EX Dispelling Horn, as we called it before. So EX Dispelling Horn, block focus. Stuck at Rage 4. But Teketria is also, like, not changing cards to find a thing that kills. Am I missing something? Surely I'm missing what these players are thinking. Parries Alorani's Kiss. Well, hand is now known. It's EX Dispelling Horn focus. Prepare. Yeah, this is gonna be a Feral Leap. Makes sense to me. And striking with Dispelling Horn, I guess. Plays it face up. I like it. Does Teketria have, like, the speed 7 option now? And he spent one on a grass boost. Alorani's Kiss is gone. This is a 6 damage Dispelling Horn. We'll actually read something first. This is fine. I mean, this is the last combat. Maybe actually... What if this is not the last combat? What if the second block comes through? Then you kind of have to keep the focus in hand. Although the focus does lose to infinite things. And as Teketria, you have a billion gauge, just run away. But you have to read, because even if you strike with focus as a combat card, it draws you a card and loses you the game. So Gaki should read something here. What a convoluted endgame. And I feel like... I just feel like I was on a different wavelength from these players altogether. And I'm not saying that the plays I want to make are correct and what they're doing is crazy, but I am just on a different wavelength to these guys. And that's like a pseudo concede? We're not even wild swinging here? Maybe there's nothing left? No grasp left? Huh. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. No grasp left. Okay, well... Okay. Sorry, let's just come down from the crescendo that was that game. Oh, we didn't check for blocks either in this discard pile. Oh wait, did I miss something? Did Vertisaur win the game? Surely not. I mean, no, it doesn't do anything. Migo wins that game. Oh wait, did he play a block? Where's that block just hanging out here? Sorry, it is late and I am confused what's going on here. Did he have a block in hand that he played and I just like missed it? What's going on? I thought he played like Verdant Slaughter. Which like doesn't do any. Yeah, I mean surely Migo won this game. I don't know why I'm even questioning that. Like we all saw it happen. It's recorded on camera. I'm just slowly descending into madness. It is 1 a.m. It is past our bedtime here, but let's just make sure. Yeah, Teketria has all 30 of his cards. Migo wins game 2 on a game where I felt like I was on a different wavelength than both of these guys. Teketria more so than Migo, I think. I think Migo and I would have had some slight discrepancies, but we ended up in a similar spot. I'm just stunned. Maybe we'll have like a chill third game or something, where we don't go so hard. We don't bust our brain too much here. Teketria revealing their character. That looks like they're sticking with the Sydney Serena. Migo has Noel, who lost the first game, and Jin left in the pocket here. Whereas Teketria does have a choice between Sydney Serena and Kokonoe. Don't know if it looks like he's just like declaring Sydney Serena. Why does he have 2? Oh, I mean, he has 2 because it's one of each. Okay. Game 3 on the cards, baby. Maybe we should get some, no, I can't do music, so otherwise I'll get, like, DMCA band. But, we really need to come down from the absolute climax that was that second game. Because I foresaw that going a different way than it did. Unless like am I just confused in saying that Teketria like played Verdant Slaughter from hand? We saw it. No, surely there's a game 3 in the cards here. Yeah, Slinka going into the trash where she belongs. Oh man. Yeah, we got a game 3 on our hands here. I don't know why I'm doubting it. It's just too late because I feel like I saw the Verdant Slaughter come out and not block, and the block was in the gauge, whatever. Game 3. I apologize for getting so hung up on this. City Serena going in the trash as well. Life totals reset. Again, Migo has Jin. You know what? If this is me slowly descending into madness, I will cut this part out. But is it just me or was what happened? Like, yeah, okay, good. We're not crazy. We did see migohunter win that game. We did see Teketria lose that game. Hopefully this makes good content. Just me going to madness. I guess they're just having a chat. They're having a chat about the end game. And that's fine. There are no timers. They can take as long as they want. The only downside is that my commentary will go from shoddy because I don't know what I'm talking about to shoddy because I don't know what I'm talking about and I'm tired, which isn't the biggest difference. Game 3 here. We have Kokonoe coming out against Jin, Season 5 matchup here. Wow, we got a special Kokonoe. You know what? Teketria will allow the alternate art here. Normally we don't allow those in our room, kind of as a joke. But we'll allow it here. Jin also with the alternate art. Oh no, this is getting too much. We need official level 99 sanctioned cards only here. Well, I guess they both have the copyright on it, so it's not the biggest deal. Jin versus Kokonoe. Kokonoe is a character. Jin is a character I've seen Migo play a lot, and I've fought his Jin a lot. It's just a solid character. Not great, not terrible in my opinion. A lot of card draw. Solid options. Has an uppercut. Has a mid speed. Has a fireball. Has an armor move. Very, very solid character. Kokonoe It's a little bit of a weird one. I tried playing this character a little bit. I couldn't figure it out personally. Calvantis has a Kokonoe that he's brought to the tournament. I don't know if any of his matches have been recorded, but if they have, go check him out for a good player play Kokonoe, because he's the first good player that I've seen actually willingly pick this character, because I think this character is quite bad. But maybe there's some cute tricks here. We look at the kit here. We have a puppet with a puppet in quotes, I guess, that when it's on the board, you can spend force to pull towards the graviton. And she's got like zoner-ish cards, right? So she has a 1 to 2 6 with it's like a weird card. The boost on it tells you, hey, zoner, flame cage, close range fireball, 2 to 5. We've got an ultra fireball here. This one, this is how I've won games with Kokonoe. I'm a flaming Billabog one trick. Just loop this card over and over again, but I feel like people are wisening up to that. Solid Wheel, a 1/4/4 with dive properties. Vanishing Rays, a 3/3/6. Migo deciding to mulligan his first card face up. You go second. Kokonoe opting to go first here. And Broken Bunker Assault, which is a 1/5/5. It is a 4 special. I like Impact Hammer more though, personally. I like the +2 armor. Anyways, back in action here. Turn 1 grappling hook. So +2 range. So notably, this means +2 minimum and maximum range. So something like Assault, for example, would not hit because Assault has a minimum range of 3, and Kokonoe would end up here and would miss. Cute little option turn 1. Something like cross hits, something like... Well, actually, grass does not hit. But like cross hits, this thing hits. Teketria putting that graviton on late. Obviously, I'm not planning on using it. But can, and like... Hey, now grasp is part of the mix-up. Cards that hit at range 1 are now part of the mix-up, assuming that Kokonoe does not move. Could even now be like a... No, it's not Broken Bunker Assault. Could even be like a Banishing Rays, although Banishing Rays doesn't need Grappling Hook to be good. It's a 3 range 6 speed move. We like to highlight those because those are pretty important, can be matchup defining. Break the typical assault, dive, spike triangle that exists at range 3. So I like to point those out in particular. It's not Solid Wheel, surely. So we're at range 2, +2 range. Migo thinking long and hard about this mix-up. There's actually not too many things this could be. Could be. I remember I hit Migo one time with the sweep on this, from this range. So it could be sweeper focus as well. Slow options are represented. Could even be spike. Spike has a minimum range of 4. So actually quite a bit of things this could be. Ice Blade response against the sweep. So Ice Blade will close into or past sweep's minimum range. Beautiful play. Migo flashing back to that time that I hit him with sweep off the grappling hook. And responding accordingly with the Ice Blade. Will close up to 2. There's nothing about Jin. Jin has a lot of optional movement, which is really cool. But yeah, Jin will duck in past the minimum range of sweep. Really well played. Good read there. Good early read there from Jin. Now is in range 2, which Migo tells me is Jin's favorite range. And you can see why. Has an uppercut, has mid speed there as well. Dual Ice Strike, also a good card. Sorry about that, I'm back. But yeah, expensive turn 1 from Kokonoi there, spending 2 cards, including a sweep. And still losing combat. Why did she not Graviton? Oh, because it's a before effect, that's why. I don't know why that I'm assuming that's the conversation they were having, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, apologies if you prefer the more hyper stream. We kind of blew it out after that crazy end game in the last one. Okay, cross hits. Does no damage, but hey, you don't get dual ice striked, so good read there. Kokonoi down to 2 cards though in hand. Probably has to prep this turn. Yep, there's the prep. Now at range 4, which is a little bit tougher for Jin. Although Jin does have options. Jin has a range 5 dive, or speed 5 dive, excuse me, in Crystal Strike. Jin also has the Ice Blade Fireball. Jin opting to prep. It's fine. Kokonoi out to prep again. Jin's turn now. But yeah, if you are continuing my previous thought, I don't even remember if I finished it or not. If you prefer the more hyper me, apologies, because it's not going to happen. That last end game was too big brained for us, and it. I don't know. I just felt like my analysis felt like it was so different from what these guys were playing. It was a little jarring, honestly, and that end game was just not how I envisioned it to go at all in the slightest. So we're adopting a more chill persona here for game 3, unless something cool happens. But I don't really think Jin and Kokonoi have things that are very cool. Crystal Ice Strike into the focus. Focus will take Jin will take 4. Crystal Ice Strike only does 1 little baby damage. Jin in the face of Kokonoi though, who's in the corner though. Okay. Migo, I mean, plays a combat card that's quite obvious there, but decides, hey, the positionings is worth it for me as Jin to get into Kokonoi's face, who's in the corner, especially with 1 cross spent as well. Impact armor getting boosted, impact hammer, excuse me, getting boosted by Kokonoi. This is +2 armor. She's a little bit of tankiness here, with this boost. On hit, she can additionally spend gauge for a little bit of power and push 1. Kokonoi is another character that can actually build gauge better than the average character, although maybe worse than the average character because she doesn't hit as much because she's bad. But she has reckless upgrades to add cards from discarded gauge. She has an after ability on solid wheel, add to gauge. I think that's actually it. Oh no, she's overtime, which is like a delayed key charge with also discarding properties. It's very weird. Jin was looking to spend the after draw 2. Graviton in play will pull Jin back if Kokonoi decides to pull the trigger on it. Is he spending the force? He's not. Focus into flaming. Interesting. That is an option that works. Yep. I'm just usually shocked to see it this early. Although, yeah, I mean it's fine. Putting 1 in the discard early is actually good. Allows you to get the flaming Bilobog loops in early, which, as I said, was my main way of winning with Kokonoi. Just ignoring the Graviton and going for flaming Bilobog loops. I quite like that play, actually. That seems fine to me. Kokonoi taking 0 damage from that as well because it had the +2 armor on Impact Hammer and 2 armor on the actual Ultra. Jin gets a card, takes a little bit of damage, but it's not the end of the world. Only 3 damage on that after armor. Kokonoi preparing here, up to 7 cards full hand. Jin last turn was actually looking to spend gauge for his after draw 2 on his innate, but decided not to. Looks like he might be hovering to do that again now. Yep, pulls the trigger on it. So Jin's innate abilities that he can spend. I should stop saying innate. Innate's a term from Yomi. Oh, nice. Sweeps hits. So 6 for 4 or 4 for 6 in a card, pretty good for Jin, all things considered. Pulls the second assault, not the biggest steal in the world, although maybe backsteps a thing he'll miss. I don't know. Who cares? What I guess what does matter is that he's missing 1/3 of the assault dive spike mix up, but he also has banishing raise, so not the biggest steal in the world. This one right here is a speed 3 rage 6. Okay, Kokonoe boosting defend. Pretty standard stuff. Putting the graviton down, just all the way in the back. Actually, interestingly enough, wants to pull Jin away potentially, or wants to represent doing that. Obviously, putting it on Kokonoe doesn't do anything because you pull towards the graviton, so this seems fine. And you remember, it's always free to put the graviton down. It only costs resources to use the graviton, so you always put the graviton down when you're Kokonoe, because I believe you can actually also move it. Yeah, you can also move it when you boost, so if you feel like you have it in a bad spot, you can boost again and move it as well. So always put it down. There's no reason not to. Well, there's like a reason, but like, ignore that. Ignore that. In 99% of cases, you just always put it down. Jin looking maybe spend another gauge for after draw 2, playing with the gauge a little bit. While migohunter does like to play with his cards. I'm surprised he's not doing it more. If you prefer the chill vibes, let me know, and I'll try to temper my personality, or I'll just cast more late at night when I'm tired. You can actually kind of hear. I don't know if there's a little bit of vocal fry just because I'm tired. I don't know if that's coming. I hope that's not coming on because I hate listening to vocal fry personally. Now that I mentioned it, hopefully that doesn't bother you and turn you off for all my videos. Jin spending 1 for the after draw 2. It's the Valenice, which will trade because Kokonoe is defend out. So Valenice has 4 power. Jin will take 3 and will not be stunned. Grasp will get pushed back a little bit, and Migo will also take 3 in response. It's now Kokonoe's turn. 3 gauge for both players. 3 gauge notably for Jin at this range. We want to take a look at Moonsong, 2-3, 6/6. Very good card to strike with. Excuse me. Kokonoe, spicy, boosting reckless upgrades in the face of Moonsong. That is spicy. Surely Jin is now just gonna play Moonsong here, take the life lead. No, Moonsong also grants advantage, can do things after the Moonsong. Right, I'm not crazy. Like, this is just mash Moonsong here, right? The only thing that I would lose to is something like an EX Banishing Raise. Is the one card I can think of that loses to that beats Moonsong. Excuse me. I think you maybe take that risk. I mean, now is as good a time as any with the +3 power that you have to try to hit that Moonsong, I think. That reckless upgrades definitely got the energy levels back up. Sorry if you like the chill vibes here, but surely this is just Moonsong coming out from Jin here. EX Moonsong even. Do you need to EX it? Maybe it's not Moonsong then. Maybe he's playing something else. But I mean, representing, is he represent? I mean, I'm assuming he's representing Spike here, so to not get blocked like immediately. Teketria mousing over that wild swing does not inspire confidence in the slightest. It is EX Moonsong, which will pop the Flame Cage for sure. Yeah, Migo just hedging against the possibility that EX Banishing Raise was in hand. Maybe that's why he was a little bit hesitant there. Just watching out for that, because that would be a super good defensive option here for Kokonoe, right? And Migo deciding, hey, I don't need the preemptive. Let's make sure this hits, right? And that's a 10 damage Moonsong, or 10 power Moonsong, 9 damage after the 1 armor on Flame Cage. And Jin gets advantage on top of that. Jin, huge life lead. Kokonoe has all this gauge, but She's all dressed up with nowhere to run for now, at least. Jin's like positioning is great. Kokonoe is stuck in the corner. Has been stuck in the corner for a while now. Jin's positioning is great. Doesn't mind the mid speed. Even gonna spend the gauge for +1. Probably because he saw Kokonoe wild swing. And actually, no, this doesn't even work anymore because Graviton's no longer in play. So spends the +2. Probably just assault here. Yep, there's the assault. So we'll beat the flame cage. I'm not really sure what flame cage was calling out there. Maybe like something like a sweep or something. But yeah, Jin now in dominant position has advantage again, because one of the things that Jin actually does quite well is that Jin actually has decent ways to advantage change. Not nearly as good as a character like Lychee, but still pretty good, all things considered. Jin takes a huge life lead here. Kokonoe in trouble. Has a bunch of gauge, but like we said, all dressed up with nowhere to run for now. Setting an EX attack now. Definitely looking at it. Definitely flipped 2 cards here. Yep, setting the EX attack, checking the discards to make sure one more time that, hey, this EX attack doesn't lose to something randomly. It probably doesn't, because Kokonoe is not a very good character, but Teketria just wild swinging. EX cross will beat that banishing raise, and that's game. That's game right there. That reckless upgrades was a little too reckless, huh? I'm sorry, that was terrible. That was terrible. But yeah, just that reckless upgrades really he had the EX. Oh no, he didn't have the expansion race. So okay, no, that's just him putting it down. Yeah, that reckless upgrades without anything behind it, really very reckless. Very reckless. EX solid wheel doesn't do anything. Yeah, I mean Moonsong, good ultra. I mean, like we called it just on the other side, right? These 3 range 6 speed moves, they're important. They're important. They win games. I would even say, like, you're never, if you're looking at a kit of a character, you're never unhappy to see a card at range 3 that has 6 speed, in my opinion. And Migo showed the power of that just now with the after the reckless upgrades. And yeah, look at all this gauge just stuck in Kokonoe. Kokonoe's meter here, and all dressed up with nowhere to run. We'll say it a third time because we don't have another saying to add. But yeah, Migo takes the set 2-1. Really felt like it could have gone another way this set, but hey, Migo clutches it out. Made the correct moves at the end. And yeah, Teketria just a couple small missteps. Actually, the reckless upgrades misstep I wouldn't say was small, but yeah, just a couple missteps. And Jin can do that. And Jin is not a bad character. I mean, Jin obviously doesn't look good compared to like the top tier of season 2. But Jin's not a bad character. Jin can play Exceed, and Jin can advantage chain. He didn't even. Like, Kokonoe didn't even get hit by Dual Ice Strike, which is another super good card here. Given Kokonoe spent like the last 15 minutes in the corner, something like that. But yeah, migohunter takes the set 2-1. Convincing third game to finish it off after a really this was actually an immense comeback if you think about it, because Migo in that first game was down so much, and I felt like he was down in the second game too. But yeah, huge comeback, and then a statement win here on the third game for sure. Although, to be fair, I think that was definitely invited from the reckless upgrades. Although, to be fair, Migo did have EX Moonsong in hand. But I guess the reckless upgrades didn't matter too much. Just Kokonoe was a bad character. Didn't have, I mean, Teketria looking through his deck right now, didn't have the blocks. Didn't really have the appropriate answers for the situation that he was in. Did have 1 copy of the Banishing Rays. Didn't have the second copy though, so no EX Banishing Rays. And even then, Migo had the EX Moonsong in response just to be super duper safe. Yeah, well played. So migohunter will now move on to 3-1. If he wins his next game, he is in contention for top 4. Teketria unfortunately drops to 2-2, and they will no longer be in contention for playoffs. But yeah, GG's to both players. Let's put that in the chat. Thank you to both these guys for the fun set. Definitely lost my mind a little bit during the middle of it, especially in that second game. But yeah, and super apologize, by the way, for being confused at the end of that second set. I just saw the block there. It's like, what's going on? I think he like threw his block from the gauge or something into the play area. But yeah, I would like to thank you guys for sticking with me. This is probably the longest video I'm posting yet. I feel like this is 2.5 hours or long or something. It's actually getting up there. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes of a set that actually ended up being pretty close overall. So GG's to both players. Thank you to the viewer for sticking with me up to now. If you liked what you saw, like what you heard, feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want. Just happy that I get to kind of share these matches with you guys, because I really do. I really do like watching Exceed, and I hope you guys enjoy the entertainment aspect of it as well. Because yeah, I mean, if I'm going crazy in the middle of a set, I hope you guys enjoy that, because I'm not enjoying it, right? Anyways, I've definitely overstayed my welcome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next one. I won't be casting games this weekend, by the way, so it'll probably be next week that I will be... I'll catch, like, some of the final games, but I'm sure other people will be taking up the casting mantle this weekend for... I think there are a couple of good games coming up as well, so... yeah, I'll see you guys next week, hopefully. And yeah, take care until then. Bye-bye.